Ahead of a new season, I'm going to be walking 37 miles in 3 days, visiting every Premier League club in London to find out what Arsenal are up against this season from our closest rivals, and more importantly, to raise money for Prostate Cancer UK. Sponsor me and save lives. Keep on my channels for more and watch this space.
Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Julian with me. We've just beaten Bayer Leverkusen 4-1 here at the Emirates. I mean, it's nice to come back from the States, Julian. Obviously, the last game was against Liverpool, we lost, but today it seemed, the Arts leaders, it seemed like another level up when it came to the Arsenal performance today.
Yeah, it absolutely did. But then, first thing is, we're not playing in the humidity that we played.
Come on. What are we doing? You're doing this. Whoa. This is a raining comment here.
No.
Come on, Julian.
No, it's not, because it applies to both sides.
Exactly.
So I know that was the retort that was coming.
Yeah.
But the game was played at a higher pace because you're able to play. I mean, I struggled to get up the stairs in Pittsburgh.
But do you look the same as...
Where do we go?
Philadelphia, not Pittsburgh. But you're different to an Arsenal athlete, a Liverpool athlete.
Slightly. But the game today was played in a climate that we're going to be more accustomed to, and we were able to push and play and kind of close the opposition down. And if you look at the first two goals, it was because we closed
the climate.
Yeah, well, that has part of it, because you're able to play at a higher intensity, and our game is based on intensity, especially from the front. So it does have a bearing. And also the other part of it is we are a week further forward, and when you are a top athlete, you understand that days can make a difference.
Only talking from experience.
You remember me then?
Only talking from experience is crazy.
Yeah. So we're 7 days further forward. We're fitter. The other thing about Bayer was that their league kicks off a week later. So you look at them, and I think before we played this game, we're thinking this is going to be absolute quality opposition.
Of course.
The record that they had last season, they were invincible.
Yeah.
You couldn't get better than that. Although the German league is only 34 games, whereas the English Premiership is 38.
So that's 4-game difference.
Well, there is a 4-game difference, because those 4 games could make a big difference. But to their credit, they did win 28 games, whereas our Invincibles only won 26.
Right, that's very true.
So they are a great team, or they were a great team, but
it hasn't changed. I don't think it's changed. So you're saying, from the time they finished their season to now, they were a great team?
Okay, they remind me very much of Leicester, and if you look at their...
You're disrespecting a lot of Bayer Leverkusen fans.
No, and I'll... Is there any around here now? No. So when you think about what happened to Leicester, Leicester were really poor the season before, and then they put together this incredible season, and they went on to win the league in 2016. The next season, they struggled. Now, if you look at when the manager, what's his name, Alonso?
Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, Xabi Alonso came in. They'd actually having their worst run since 1979. He came in October. He got them into the UEFA Cup. It was a good season. The next season, of course, they go invincible. A team has basically come...
They've done well in the Cups as well. Yeah, they played some big teams. And
they had a phenomenal season, but so did Leicester.
So it's a freak season is what you're saying, what they had?
It looks that way. If you look at their performance today, and it is, you can just say it's just a friendly, but if you look at Leverkusen's performance today, what did we say? I mean, we used a certain word, but let's just say they weren't that great. Yeah,
but I'm not saying. You're saying that they're from that time from the season's finished to now, they're not a good side. But I expect them to still be competitive and be up there again in the new season.
So
they've got good players. They're a good team.
All right. So take away what we know about them and just judge them on what we saw today. That was not the best opposition that I've seen. The average Premiership team will come to Arsenal this season and make life more difficult for us. I'm not saying that wasn't a really great performance.
Yeah, it's pre-season.
It really was. But the team we played against, I mean, you look at Jesus' goal. They didn't put a challenge in on Jesus. They just backed off. He took a shot, which was a good shot, but the goalkeeper again should have saved it. Yeah. It wasn't a great team. It might be a great team that we've played against on paper, but the team that turned up and played us today was not a good team. But then maybe we were that great that we made them look bad.
That's the other end of the spectrum. We might have been really good and made them look bad. But I still think it's kind of crazy what you're saying, but let's talk about...
it was backed up by fact.
You like to do that, don't you?
Just wasn't opinion, yeah. I've done my research.
Of course. Any of the players that stood out for you, especially some of the youngsters that made an appearance, but any players that stood out from Arsenal side?
Always Martin Odegaard for me. You know, he just doesn't fail to impress me. Every single game, his touch is just perfect, his vision and his work rate. It was just brilliant.
Victor Boniface, you kept saying that you'd like to see him at Arsenal.
Well, I've read up and I've done research on Victor Boniface. You know, he played for Bodo 2019, so he's used to the cold. We've been there. We know. So he's acclimatised.
So climate player.
It does make a difference. If you come from South America and you're used to playing in the heat, and then you come to England and you play in our climate, it does take a while to get used to that. Now Boniface has played in the Arctic Circle, so he's used to that. His scoring record is good. He's a big, powerful player. But he had the odd touch today. But again, if I just saw him on today's performance for a half, I wouldn't think that he's like 60, 70, 80 million pound player. I would say he's a good to average player. That he's not better than what we've got. And people say we absolutely need a striker, but you know, on today's performance and what I saw of him, you'd say Havertz and Jesus were miles ahead of that kind of level, and that he would come in maybe as an Eddie replacement.
Do you think Calafiori wasn't played today because he's climatising? Arteta just wants him to feel the air and how cold it is in the UK. Is that why he probably wasn't in the squad today?
That's a very loaded question to make me look.
No, I'm not. He might be.
It's a loaded question. Yes, he does have to acclimatise.
Okay. When do you think he'll be ready for the temperatures of London?
On Sunday, because it's played in the afternoon and it'll be hotter.